Oh, I went quick. Pamela, are you in another room? Oh no, same mum.
I'm in the same bit. I'm just slouching. I'm lying down.
Are you in a room?
I will need to leave because we're going out for it. We're 2 hours ahead, remember?
Oh,
So
of
um,
course.
it's 5 o'clock here. So I've got an hour, and then I need to go and get ready because we're going out for dinner. So yeah, I'll just sneak off, and I'll be back tomorrow.
We'll have covered most of it by then, so
I'll watch this
replay.
the
Yeah,
replay. Yeah, I will do. I
yeah.
just don't want to disturb you. I'll just disappear.
No, it's the beauty of online. You've got the catch-up stuff.
Fantastic.
Oh, we'll have a lovely meal out, Pamela. I've got a pack yet. Mind you, that's quite easy now. I just chuck a few bits in. I know exactly. I've got a capsule wardrobe that I know I need for holiday now. Slurping my tea.
I
Lovely.
slittered my tea. I've got cacao slittered down my top, and I've got tea slittered down my top. I was like, I'll not be able to wear it again. Oops.
Well done. Is that well done? I've actually really weirdly come off this call and I was like, oh, it's a put because I bought some Balinese cacao off Lena Allen and she was posting it out yesterday. I thought, oh God, I hope it arrives today because then I can take it away with me. And went in there and I was like, has there been any posted? Like, no, no post. I'm like, oh shit, that means I can't take it because it won't come till Monday now. And then literally I came back in here and he went, oh, it's just come. Talk about manifesting in the moment. So I've got my Balinese to take on holiday with me. All right, good. Is everybody back? Is that everyone? I feel like I'm missing somebody. 4, 5. That's right, isn't it? Has anyone got any questions from this morning or reflections or anything? To... Good. Well, I'm going to dance. We're going to dance. I thought we'd dance first, and then I'm going to take you through the tapping sequence for the nervous system regulation, which has anybody done EFT? I think this is similar to kind of EFT sort of stuff, really. It's a long time since I've done any EFT, but this, I can't remember, I think this came up, it must have been through my course that I just did actually. But I thought it was quite nice to have a play with so you can bring all your tools in and you can make it your own as well. So I think from what we've been through this morning, what I kind of keep coming back to really is this idea of becoming, that we're all becoming more of who we are. And so this is like quite a big part of the next bit really about the energetic attraction and this idea that your frequency is the invitation. Um, and so there's a story about the butterfly, and if we were to try and catch a butterfly, it'd be probably fairly difficult because they move quite quick, and so as soon as you go to grab one, it's gone, it flies. But if you are to sit down and sit still, the butterfly likely might just come and land on your hand or on your knee or on your head. And so this is kind of like the idea of the energetic attraction is that you attract by becoming. That is the idea. So by becoming who you are, more of who you are, that is how we attract our tribe. And so it's a bit like creating the space in a lot of ways for that we want to call in. But if our space is full of stuff and it's full of doing and it's full of all of that, there's like no space for anything new to come in. So that's kind of like the idea. So you're still eating, Annie. You can have a little jiggle then. It's all right. No, it's all right. You're fine. It's fine to eat. But I was going to do a bit of dance. So I'm going to put a track on. Going to invite you to move if you want to sing or just sit and eat and sing and drink and sing and do whatever you want. But we're going to do a bit of movement first, and then I'm going to go through this tapping sequence, and then we'll go into our first session if nobody's got anything to share. No, I've got a little kiss curl. On end of one of my dreads, I've got a curl up and it's here.
Finally got in.
Oh, you're here. Oh, brilliant. I was going to say, I'm sure my screen didn't look like that. Yeah, I think it's because you keep...
Trouble with Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. The magic of Zoom when it works. All right, so let's just have a little shake out and a little bit of movement just to move our body again. If you don't want to, you can just lay down and that's completely fine. Then I'm going to bring us back in to just let me see if that's somebody that's not somebody that's coming in. All right, so let me find my track that I want to do today. This is called Badass Woman. I'm going to turn the music up a bit.
Can't hold me back. Yeah, I'm a badass woman. Just made like that, but I'm proud of that. 'Cause I'm a badass woman. Never second guess me. 'Cause baby, I'm the boss. Don't underestimate me. 'Cause I'm the one in charge. Smarter than you'll give me credit for, and I'm way stronger than I ever been before. I'm a force of nature that you can't ignore. You can't ignore no more. I'm a badass woman. What's wrong with that? Can't hold me back. Yeah, I'm a badass woman. Just made like that. But I'm proud of that, 'cause I'm a badass woman. I'm never saying sorry for saying what's on my mind. And I don't need a body to prove I'm worth your time. I am smarter than you give me credit for, and I'm way stronger than I ever been before. I'm a force of nature that you can't ignore. You can't ignore no more. 'Cause I'm a badass woman. What's wrong with that? Can't hold me back. Yeah, I'm a badass woman. Oh yeah, just made like that. But I'm proud of that. Yeah, badass woman. 'Cause I'm a badass woman.
Did you enjoy that? I love that track. Badass woman. It was great actually. That track came from in our last yoga training. We had a girl called Alice, and she was tiny, absolutely tiny, long red hair, like really like nature spirit. And she was a lawyer in London. She'd had an absolute breakdown, and she ended up in this yoga training. And she was so quiet and timid and everything. And then as the training went on, she kind of started coming into her fire a lot, and then sharing that she'd kicked a door down once to get somebody out of a toilet or something. And all this stuff came out. And yeah, and that was her track. That always reminds me of her, because she was like, this is my activation music, and I've been playing it every day. So it always reminds me of her. All right, so we're going to come into a nervous system regulation practice, which I've just started doing this along with this is my instant go-to at the moment. But this is a nice practice you can use like any time in the morning or after a bit of, getting energy moving and dancing out or whatever. But I find it to be really, really calming. So it helps to calm us because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're putting ourselves out there, whether it is, doing yoga classes, sound baths, astrology readings, whatever it is that we're doing. For many of us, it's uncomfortable. And it can feel quite uncomfortable. And then added to that, really, I mean, generally, historically, it would often be men that does this sort of, the spiritual work for sure. And, women are, for many of us, we're householders, we've got shit going on in life and all of that stuff that goes on. And we also do this work, and like really, it's something to be quite proud of, actually. To show up and hold space for others when we also have a life, we have a muggle life as well, and so it's big work. It's not easy. I think a lot of people maybe look at it from an outside lens and think, oh yeah, that looks so easy. Oh, it's so easy to do that. Let's be yoga teachers. It's so easy. It's not fucking easy, is it? We know, those of us that are doing it, it isn't easy. It isn't easy. It is a devotional way of living and being, for sure. It's because we're devoted to something that's helped us usually in our lives, and we want to share it with others. And that's a beautiful way to share it, but it still doesn't make it easy. Just because it's teaching yoga or whatever, it doesn't make it an easy path. So we have to keep coming back to ourselves, because again, when we're doing this work, we're also doing the work on ourselves as well. And so every training that we do, every retreat that we go to, everything that we do has an effect on us energetically, and it's going to bring us more back to who we are. So to really give ourselves the time and space. This is one of the beauties of working for ourselves, actually, is that we don't have to be in an office at 9 o'clock in the morning, or whatever Vicky does, I know, still at the moment. We don't have to be at anywhere, particularly any space and time. So really, we can make time for ourselves. We can claim that time for ourselves. And really, like I was saying earlier, the most advanced practice is no practice, or it's certainly short practice. It is a sequence. It might be a ritual, a short ritual that just brings you back to yourself. And the more we are in and down, life is gonna throw us curveballs. It's always going to do that. That's what life is. That is the nature of life. Life is never going to be all lovely and rosy, and things are going to leave, people are going to leave, things are going to leave, and there's going to be chaos within life. That's what the nature of it. So all these practices that help us come back to who we are tools to help keep us steady in life's transitions. Life is about expansion and contraction. That's the nature of nature as well. So we're heading into dark time of the year. This can affect us, especially as women. We've got to remember that as we teach others that we are cyclical. So we know that in the winter, like for me in the dark moon, these are not great times where I love the energy. I'm a little bit of I like the sun, I'm solar powered. So, for me going into the winter, I tend to now gear up. So there's not so much going on in this little bit, because actually from the tradition of Ayurveda, this is the most vulnerable time that we are of the year. It's the most vulnerable time right now, just as we come out of summer and into winter. This autumn phase is quite it's changeable. It's unpredictable. It's wild woman phase. This is wild woman phase of the year, and it's quite a vulnerable time. So, it is a really brave thing to do, I think, to show up and do this work, I think, for all of us. So this is a short sequence that we can do to come back to ourselves. And if we repeat it, and anything that is repeated, anything we do repeatedly over and over that becomes a ritual and becomes a habit, brings us back quicker. And the more we do it, the quicker we can bring ourselves back. So the tapping points that we're going to go through are going to be side of the hand. So just here, I'm going to tap in here and come to the inside of the eyebrow, outside under eye. Then we're going to go to under the nose, this bit here, and then to the chin, collarbone. If you've done EFT, you remember all these, I should imagine. And then just underneath here. And then we're going to go to the top of the head. Okay, so we're going to do all of them points. We're going to use some mantras with them. And then, we're going to see how we feel. So when we're looking at nervous system regulation, we're not asking the nervous system to come into absolute regulation. We're inviting it to come maybe 5% in. So if there's a 5% shift, that's really good. So every time we do it, we're going to be building and building, and again, we're going to, it's like this idea of the highway and the little country road in the brain. The brain is quite malleable, and so when we're in go 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 go, this is like the big highway, the big motorway energy of everything's going go going. What we want to do is to start and shift and just take some of the back roads that go like this, because again, this is masculine, this is feminine. Feminine is going to take all of the lovely country roads that take us to the path less trodden sort of thing. And so that's kind of like what we're doing is we're moving away from this motorway, and we're moving on to these side roads, which are always nicer, actually, aren't they? And they always lead us to lovely little places and things that we wouldn't have seen. And this is the slow, this is the slow, this is the feminine, this is the yin. So this is what we're going to aim to do. So we've done a little bit of movement, which I suggest you do before you do it. The other nice practice I love to do is to take my hand on my heart, and maybe right hand on heart and then left hand down on my belly, And I like to call this the belly of wisdom. And especially us elders that are in our eldership, then, you know, it does become the belly of wisdom, because we know when we go down and in that our belly will tell us all that we ever need to know. It will tell us. So just have a moment to just close your eyes for a minute and just feel. Just take a few nice deep breaths. Again, just feel your body expanding and softening through your breath. And just allow yourself to land in presence, and just presence in whatever that is for you just right now. And as you slow the breath down, and just offer to yourself, in this moment I am here. In this moment I am here. My breath is steady, my body is listening. My heart is safe to open. In this moment I am here. My breath is steady. My body is listening. My heart is safe to open. So as we go into our tapping practice, imagine that as you tap, it's like raindrops landing on your skin. Nice and gentle with yourself. And again, this can be used anytime and whenever you're worried or stressed, or things are not quite going the way that you want them to go, or you're feeling a bit unsure about life. So we're going to begin by tapping onto the side of the hand. I don't believe it matters which side, so whichever hand you want to work with. And again, if you just think about just raindrops gently landing, and I'm going to do an invocation that is in the little book that I shared with you as well. Even though I feel tension, worry, or fear, I choose to love and accept myself completely. Even though my body may be holding old stress, I allow it to soften now. I am learning that safety begins with presence. I'm going to go to the eyebrow point, the beginning of the brow. It's safe for me to pause. It's safe to slow down. To the side of the eye. My body doesn't need to be on high alert right now. And then under the eye, I've survived the storm and now I can rest. To the chin, my body is my sanctuary. Under the nose, sorry. Each breath teaches my nervous system peace. And then to the collarbone, my shoulders drop, my jaw softens, my belly releases. And then under the arm, the sacred feminine within me exhales, and I'm safe to soften. Then as we go to the top of the head, I'm surrounded by safety, grounded in the earth, and connected to my own gentle power. And I'm going to place our hands again to our heart now. So just taking the hands over the heart. And again, just for a moment, connect back to your breath, to presence. My body remembers peace. My breath is my medicine. My heart is my home. Again, you can visualize the out breath like golden light releasing tension from the nervous system down through the spine, through the legs, and into the earth. Okay, and then just check in with the effect, how that feels in your body, how you feel. Again, just notice that, does everybody feel, can everyone tell like something different happened? Can you tell? Does you feel calmer? I'm going to do it again. But yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? It's like it's fine, like it kind of softens the armor in a way. Do you know what I mean? You know, we often have the armor on. And what I find with it is if these are tools you can use, if you are a person that has a bit ADHD, like me, but ADHD, then when overwhelm hits, which it often does with ADHD, this again is another little practice that can just bring you into regulation really quick, away from the overwhelm. Because what I do, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, is I can go into, and in fact, actually, it is to do with the nervous system, is this actually? So I can go into creative flow, and then what I do is I go into freeze. So I'll create, and then I freeze up. I can't put it out there. I can't do it. It's too much. I get overwhelmed. So that's where I've been for a while. So I've been in this activated and freeze state, stuck like that for quite some time. So what happens is, again, it comes down to the ego in a way, but also dysregulation, because actually to be in this state for a long time is exhausting. It's exhausting on the system. So to be in flow isn't tiring at all. To allow ourselves to be in flow is not tiring at all. We're just flowing with the energy and everything's good. But when the nervous system's coming in and it's going, like, if I come back to my root again, of being bad and being in trouble, then a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now, the stuff that I want to kind of put out, is really different to a lot of other stuff that's out there. And so it could be deemed as bad, and it doesn't fit in under the usual norm of what yoga is or whatever. And so in a way that can make me feel like, oh, I'm wrong. It must be wrong. So that's been my freeze point. That's been the thing that's frozen me, because my little self has gone, don't put yourself out there, you might get into trouble. And then obviously what's happened with the court case, because of the work, it's made me feel bad and wrong. Like, oh my God, I'm in trouble for something here. I'm in trouble because I've got to go to court. I'm in trouble. So do you see how that kind of, that little my little self is trying to protect me from getting into trouble? To see what I mean? So what's happened is my nervous system's gone into, well, we'll freeze it then. We're going to stop it. We'll freeze it in this moment. So the more that I'm doing this stuff, and alongside with the Sovereign Creator Manifesto as well, because the other thing that I've often done, and again, which is why it's quite important, I think, to get to the root of the thing that we believed about ourselves when we were little, because we begin to build our whole life around that for a long time. And so the life is built around this root, which, like I say, mine is about getting into trouble. Well, the work I'm doing, like, and the work you're doing is what we would have been burnt for at the stake. Let me tell you. So, a core root of I'm bad and wrong and I'm in trouble might go back way back beyond my little self. It's going to go back through lifetimes, through generations, through ancestry. So the more that we can bring ourselves into regulation, so we've got the ability to keep doing the stuff that we're here to do, the more it heals down that ancestral line, and it heals all of them that have died for us to be doing what we're doing now. So it's important. I think it's important that we do this. It's important that we give ourselves the the tools to help us. And I do think the nervous system is a key. It is a key that's going to unlock a mass awakening. That's what I believe. Because the more we pass these tools on, the more we do it ourselves, the more we step up, the more we do, the more we share it, the more people are going to, again, it's going to have that ripple effect. And especially for women, because we're the ones that have been persecuted and held down, and so we'll do it again. All right, so let's begin. We'll just bring hand on heart and belly, and you can adapt this to your own words and use the format, but you can adapt this to your whole thing. This could be a really nice opening for a circle, even for a sound bath or whatever, so people are in regulation before they receive yoga, sound, or whatever it is. See what I mean? It moves people into regulation pretty quick, and it's easy. All right, so just having a few breaths, because again, we can't really make good decisions for ourselves from dysregulation. When we're in regulation, we know, we remember, because we're in and down, so we know. So again, just take a couple of breaths to land in. And one of the most powerful mantras is, in this moment, I am here. It's so that in its simplicity. In this moment, I am here. Again, I land in and down. My breath is steady. My body is listening. My heart is safe to open. In this moment, I am here. My breath is steady. My body is listening. My heart is safe to open. Again, just gently breathing into that. And then again, we're going to come into the side of the hand, tap in. Even though I may feel, and again, you can use any different words here, even though I may feel tension, worry, or fear, I choose to love and accept myself completely. Even though my body may be holding old stress, I allow it to soften now. I'm learning that safety begins with presence. Then we go to the eyebrow. Inside of the eyebrow, it is safe for me to pause. To the side of the eye, it's safe to slow down. And under the eye, my body doesn't need to be on high alert right now. Underneath the nose, I survived the storm, and now I can rest. To the chin, each breath teaches my nervous system peace. And to the collarbone, my shoulders drop, my jaw softens, my belly releases. Under the arm, sacred feminine within me exhales. I am safe to soften. And then crown of the head, I'm surrounded by safety, grounded in the earth. connected to my own gentle power. And then bringing the hands to the heart, connecting in again to this felt sense, embodied presence. Feel the warmth of the skin beneath your hands. My body remembers peace. My breath is my medicine. My heart is my home. Now again, to regulate, you can come to the back of the body, this like golden waterfall down through the spine, maybe experience like golden light down through the back of the spine, just really calming the nervous system. And again, when you're ready, if you need to move a little bit, see how you feel. How's that feel? Nice? Does it, can you tell? Yeah, you kind of moved. Yeah, you need to move a little bit, and it's quite nice just to move the energy down. And the other thing you can do, which is quite nice, is just to shake off to the earth. So when you've done that practice, you might want to have a little shake down. It's not in the manual, Caroline, but I've just put it in the group, but I will send it to you also on email. Oh, but I did send it on email. Sorry, I sent it on email last night. So it is it's a booklet and it's got that in it, and it's also got the thymus tapping and the body tapping as well. So good.
I don't think I got that email, Andrea. I don't think I've got that email with the
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, I didn't
Have
get
you
it.
not got it either? Okay, I sent them last night. What I'll do, I think what it is because I sent it on the original email, so it might just show up as the original email. But when I'm going to send you an email tomorrow with all the homework and stuff on it, and I'll attach it all to that as well.
Oh, please.
I think I put it in group. Just let me check. I might have put it in group as well. I'll put it in now anyway. Just they've got it for now. Medicine bundle. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's in the group. I'll just reshare it again. Oh. Why is it not doing that? If you scroll up a little bit on the WhatsApp group, just a little bit back, it's there. There's the 2 PDFs side by side. There's a sovereign creator and then the nervous system regulation tools underneath it. But I'll send if you want it now.
Yeah, play. Would you send it on email? Because my phone struggles to download stuff.
Yeah. I'll send it on email. Yeah, I'll send all of this stuff that we're doing. This because a lot of the stuff that we're doing now isn't in the manual, but I'll send you it all. All right, how's everyone doing? Any reflections?
I love that because it really does sort of bring you back to your body, connect you back to your body, sort of like that, the Abhyanga, how like the Abhyanga does is that soothing touch. And I do like a face yoga massage, and it's quite similar to that, sort of tapping the like the mama points.
Yeah.
But there's also a butterfly hug, and you just tap the sort of pectoral muscles. Because your pectoral muscles, if they're really tender, it's where we hold grief.
Yeah.
So they really are quite tender. And when I teach that in my classes, the ladies absolutely love it. And it really does sort of, it's beautiful. Yeah, try it. Yeah, it's lovely.
And also,
thank
you. That's so gorgeous. And also, we were taught that you hold your childhood in your arms as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
In
give yourself a hug.
yourself when we're doing a lot of this work with the little one, and then just holding her. It's so lovely. It's nice to do this before you go to sleep as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just hold her before you go to sleep. It's really sweet.
Soothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because thing is as well, and I suppose that's another thing when you start feeling into like what you had when you were a kid and what you didn't, you know, a lot of times, really, I mean, I don't know about you lot, but I just felt in the way and I felt really confused most of my life.
Mhm.
I think I just felt confused, really. Probably still do, to be
Well,
honest.
I don't know if I've ever told any or mentioned this, but I've got a twin sister. So there was quite a lot of sort of competition. I mean, we're really close, and it's sort of she's had a totally different life to me. She had her daughter when she was 17, hence why I've never had any children because I saw what it did to her. But but we've had totally different lives, and incidentally, that she had a sort of marriage that broke up after about 10-15 years, and she's on her own. But the house I'm viewing tomorrow is down the same street as her. So
Oh,
we've actually this has brought us a lot closer, although
oh,
it's only like a mile away. But yeah, so there's quite my childhood was quite sort of competitive, and that always being afraid of doing something wrong as well. Yeah.
that's it.
If I go through a red light, I think it's going to be on YouTube and somebody's filmed me. If I've not indicated to go around a roundabout and I go like that to somebody, I think, oh God, I'm going to be on YouTube. But yeah,
My God.
yeah,
Yeah, that being in trouble thing is a thing. It is definitely sits in me. I mean, I have been in trouble most of my life, mind you, but having said that, this is a thing. It's still a thing. So yeah. Oh wow.
But wasn't me, it was her. Wasn't me, it was her. Yeah.
Well, you'll be able to do that with a twin.
Well, we did have fun with it, and we still do. But the funny thing is, she's a prison officer as well, so we've got totally different lives. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
Yeah,
that's another story. Yeah.
amazing. All right, lovely. How's everyone feeling? Good? You all right? All right, so we're going to go into energetic attraction, and we're going to do a bit of an exercise around this. And you might not, I don't know, you might not be in a place where you want to call in your tribe. You might not want to do that, but I think it's useful to know. And some of the work I've done over the last few years has been around this energetic selling and marketing work, and how Lenka Lutonska's, I mean, she's a multi-millionaire, I think now, but when I first started working with her, she wasn't. But mainly all of her ethos is about becoming. It's all about who we become. So whatever it is that we want to do in our lives, whatever it is we want to do, we've got to become it first, energetically. I think I've said about Gandalf stamping his staff, but we also need to know who we are as well, because I think it's really difficult. And, I think, and I've been in this little, this little wishy-washy machine thing going on for the last few years of becoming, and really, like this idea of I'm going to put myself out there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But like I was saying earlier, what happened to me was it just put me into a state of freeze, because I kind of was in this container of, becoming, put yourself out, put yourself out, put yourself out, but the root hadn't been dug up. So without the root dug up, all my nervous system's gone is it's going to protect you. I'm not going to put you out there, because what if you're wrong? What if you are bad? What if you get in trouble? So it froze me up. So there is work to do in the unfolding, and hopefully you'll get this so that you can get through it quick and get where you want to be. And I think just having the awareness of it can really, really help. We've done a little bit this morning already. So we want to be, and I think the universe works in this way, is the universe wants us to be clear. And that in itself can be a challenge, because sometimes we just, especially as creatives, we just bumble along with la 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 la. Don't know what I'm doing, don't know where I'm going, just going to follow the flow of feminine energy, and this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, we can do that to a degree, but we do need a bloody structure. We do need some direction. Universe needs some direction to tell it where to go, where it wants us to go. And so we want to be clear on who it is, you know, what we want to create, what we want to do or not do, even who it is we want to work with, you know, because I think the thing, I think a big shift what's happened with me is historically it's been about this is work. So this is work, and I get paid through the work that I do. And that's kind of like the old paradigm, really. And to, you know, to be paid for the work. So in some ways, how that can look up is hustle for a start off, overworking, overdoing, taking on anything that comes just because I need money and I need to pay the bills and I need to do all this stuff. And not so much about being a channel of clear, loving energy for, and a magnet for, the people who are ready to heal and rise. I've called that in and it's been amazing, but I've also called in some people that aren't as well. So the energy of your circle, your work, whatever it is that you're doing, starts with you. I've already said this. It starts with you and where you're at and what it is that you want to create. So if we are coming from prostitute archetype, martyr archetype, please like me archetype, then this is what we're gonna kind of, you know, these are quite depleting archetypes to be creating our business on that foundation. So we attract who we are, not who we think we should be as well. So if there is a gap between who we actually, you know, really want to be, and, you know, again, that's usually an undoing in many ways. It's usually a coming back and down and in and unpicking. Then, you know, we want to kind of be in this open-hearted, grounded, kind of presence in integrity, in authenticity, but also in playful joy as well. So we you know, what it wants to be, because I think a big thing about this work is it can just get really serious. And, you know, so we want to be in a place where we can play as well, because that's universal energy. So if we again come back to the childlike, because, you know, the sound of the heart, the sound of the Hridaya or the Hrit chakra, the higher heart, is a chuckle. That is the sound of the heart. Anahata means that needs nothing to make it sing. It is, you know, the heart is all about this childlike nature. If you see the Buddhas and the enlightened people, they laugh all the time. They laugh at life. That's what they do. They're not serious at all. You know, they laugh at life. So again, it's like, because I think we can step into this spiritual field, whatever we want to call it, and think we've got to be all good. And I did that, and I've done it for years, been all good and, you know, not sharing who I really am and who I've really been. But she's what brought me to this path. So, you know, now and on for quite a while, I have been quite open and honest about that. But I know for many years I was a yogini, and that was who I was, and I was not letting anybody know anything other than that. Whereas now I'm a bit more truthful, that I've been a rebel and been a party animal, and I've taken drugs and done all the things, and that's okay. And it's been part of my, you know, my unfolding. So been really, you know, been really authentic and true to who you are, and not being ashamed of your story, not being ashamed of your past, allowing it to be part of who you are, because that is who pulls in your tribe. That's it. So the other thing is, and again, this really, again, which is why I'm so big on svasta, being situated in who I am, because we don't need to convince people to work with us, and we don't need to be begging people to work with us. I've just done a whole rewrite of my training to make it absolutely marmite for people who do not resonate with me, because I don't need to work with them and they don't need to work with me. It's a waste of time, completely waste of time. So we don't need to convince people, we don't need to beg people. Your energy communicates before your words do. So again, when we share from our truth, from our authenticity, from our story, what is our, you know, what has brought us to where we are now, and it isn't that we've leapfrogged from there to there, it's because we've gone through our shit. We've dealt with PTSD. We've acknowledged it. You know, we've acknowledged that we've been broken at times. We've acknowledged that we have got health conditions. We've acknowledged that we're not fucking bypassing stuff. We're not doing the spiritual bypassing stuff, not under my watch, because it's not okay to do that. So we come from a place of truth, from honesty, from true authenticity and integrity. And what I was saying earlier, your practice is what you offer. That is what you do. So you are going to be honest, Caroline, and say, you know, I can't do the downward dogs and stuff because my wrists don't do that. I'm not going to put, because I've seen this a lot with yoga teachers, pushing themselves through pain, hip problems, back problems, to never admit they've got a problem because they're a yoga teacher. You know what I mean? And I've seen this a lot. And that's also not good, because we're not being truthful, we're not being honest then. So when we share from truth, we send a frequency out that our soul tribe recognizes. Now, your words, the language that you use, how you speak, how you put yourself out in the world, that is a vibrational frequency that your people, you'll know it. You're going to hear something, read something, see something, and go, oh God, that did something to me there. It made me sit up. You know, I've worked with, I am very specific and careful who I work with. It has to ignite something in here for me before I'll even say yes. And usually the people I do work with are freaking expensive, so I have to think about it. Am I going to do this because it's a fucking lot of money always when I'm going to step into it, usually. So it has to speak to me there, and it's got to activate something in me for me to say yes to it. And that's what needs to happen for your people. So your message is your medicine, and the ones who need it will feel it. So it might be that, you know, and I will be, once my court case is over in 2 weeks, I'll be talking about that and how it's made me feel and what it's done and the different and the journey that that's created in me. And I'm going to talk about that. somebody else is going to see that, and it's going to resonate somewhat with them. It won't be the same story, but it'll be something that's happened that has made them either go into victim, which I did do as well, or phoenix and fucking rise anyway, despite of it, and allow the medicine of it to alchemize. And that's what these challenges do often. So, and that's powerful when you speak from that, isn't it? It's powerful when we speak from that and that truth, what that is. So again, if we're working in these spaces where, you know, we're holding space circle, astrology readings, sound bath, yoga, whatever it is transformative in its essence. That's what it is. That's what it does. It's transformative, and we've never had more access to the work we've got now. I don't think ever. You know, astrology readings and stuff like that. We've never had more access than we've got now. So, you know, this is great times that we're living in, and it's acceptable. We don't have to hide it. We're not going to get burnt at the stake for it anymore. So it's exciting. We can speak it out. We can put ourselves out there in safety. So when we and something that I do when I'm calling in my tribe, and I've done this for a little while, is that, and it does work because you're all here. I'll decide usually how many people I would like in my space, the energy of the people who I want to work with. I don't tend to put a specific, but the energy of the people I want to work with. I visualize the women who need the medicine that is going to move through me. It's not me. It's not about me. It's the medicine that's going to move through me for them. That's what's happening here. That's what's always happened here. It's your medicine that moves through me. I am just a tube for it. That's how I always see myself, as a walking tube. And so it moves through me for you. So we might see the faces, feel their hearts, and sense their longing. So what is it that they are looking for? What is it that they want? For you all, this circle, I think, has been about alchemy for me. It's been about alchemy. It's been about rising up. It's been about stepping out. It's been about really being in this container of realness, of being true to who we are. That's what it's been for me. So we begin to, you know, you might have in your morning practice, you might set a bit of time for this, that, you know, just tuning into. I like to see it like little lights starting to go on for people. Then I might bye Pamela, enjoy your lovely evening, see you tomorrow. It's quite nice again to use your heart. So we want to get into heart frequency, and then sending out that vibration, like it's a bit like, I always think about it a bit like it's a net. So from your heart, you're kind of casting out this golden net to just collect in those that are ready, those that are ready, those that want your light, those that are ready to rise, to remember, to really love what it is that you offer. So you might cast it out. Again, you allow this idea, or you begin to feel that I am magnetic. You are a magnet. That is what you are. That is the truth of what you are. You know, the thing is that we're conditioned into all of this strategic, you know, it's got to go that way. We've got to post this amount of times on Facebook. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. We've got to do this. You know, we've got to do all this stuff. That's masculine energy. We've got to do what we intuitively are called to do. And that might be going to the corner shop, and you might just bump into somebody who loves what you do and wants to come to the next, or whatever, that this is the sort of thing that can happen. And I think also saying yes to stuff. I've started to say yes to things quite a bit just recently. So you might light a candle, have your cacao, set a little, we're going to do it in a minute, set a little practice that you begin, and this will happen for every offering that you do, everything that you do really. But starting to be like have an idea of what it is you want. What is it? Be clear on what it is you want, what you want to call in. Who are the people you want to work with? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to support? What is your why as well? That's quite a good thing to come back to as well. Why do you want to do this stuff? Now, the thing is, I would just say also is it again, if we're doing it to fill a void, then again we want to look at that too, because otherwise all we'll do, I think we're saying with Annie, is all of the giving and doing and serving and all that stuff you've been doing, and that's not there anymore. This is going to get filled with a lot of that, and if that gets filled with a lot of that, you're going to get tired and burnt out really quickly. So again, be aware of your tendencies. So again, we know who we are. If we're Vata, we want to do all the things. We're going to want to do all the things. We're going to want to do lots of it. That's burnout. So again, if we come back to coming in and down, if I was living a life that was absolutely amazing and every day I just was so excited to wake up into it, what would it look like? How many people would I be serving? What would be a rhythm? What is my rhythm as well? That's another thing, again, through the practices we've been doing, what is your rhythm? What rhythm do you love? You might like to be slow. You might be that, I mean, for example, I worked with a coach a few years ago who wanted me to, and it stressed me out to the point of nearly having, well, I got shingles. I was that stressed about it actually, because she was driving me down to create one high-end offering. The one thing that was a lot of money, right? And I was so stressed about it. And well, I ended up with shingles. That's how stressed I was, because that isn't who I am. That isn't who I am. So I think the other thing is I'm a bit ADHD, so I like a few things going on because that's my nature. That's what I like. I get, if I do one thing, if I was to do one thing over and over again, I would be bored within 2 months. I'd be bored because I like variation. I love that. I love moving and changing and doing new stuff, and I love all of that. So again, but you may be a person who gets overwhelmed with that, and you like a steady rhythm where you're doing the same thing, one thing every month or whatever, and it's a steady rhythm, and you might like that. If you don't like that, then that's not a way you're going to work. So again, as we begin to know our nature, because your work is an extension of who you are, that's what it is. It's not like working 9 to 5 in Tesco. It's not like that in this work. It's a rhythm, and it works with your rhythm. It's an extension of who you are. So we want to be really aware of that, and I would definitely sit with this a little bit overnight. Around, again, what is my rhythm? Like, what is it that I want to create? Because when we're kind of conditioned to work, we have this sort of conditioning of it sort of fits in boxes. It fits in the time frame, doesn't it? It's from this time to that time, and then I get paid this much. This work ain't like that, because it's energetic work, so it's going to flux and flow, and it is, and I can tell you, and it's nearly always the case, around new moon, my bank balance will start to go blah, 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 blah. If I'm overworking and I'm tired, my bank balance will go blah, 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 and it does it. And it's because money, like everything else, is energy, and we're energy. So if we're burning out constantly, it's not great for, it's not great for anything. It's not great for our creativity. It's not great for our money, because usually we're giving about 1,000 times more energy than we're actually getting back, because it's imbalanced, completely imbalanced. So the other thing that I wanted to say also on this is that we never really know where people have been. We never know who people are, really, do we? Because as we know, we've become something to fit in. And so most people who come before us, especially if they're suffering with depression and anxiety and all of these things, is often a sign that they aren't who they truly are, if you know what I mean. They're in a box that they don't fit in. They're a square peg in a round hole, usually. That's what I find, usually. So through the spaces that we offer, the spaces that we create, we then allow them to remember the parts of them that they forgot. Now, I can relate to this. I forgot that I loved to dance one time in my life. And when I started belly dancing, that's when I remembered there was something in that dance when I observed it that reminded me of who I used to be, and I'd forgotten. And so when we create these spaces, and whether we've got, we do offer a bit of dance or movement or, journaling or whatever, these are going to give people the opportunity to remember these parts. Most girls will have written diaries or something, and they've probably had bad experiences of that as well. So again, because in the moment they probably loved writing their diary, and then something happened, somebody found it and read it or whatever, and it became a really bad experience. And so that's why often women, I think, don't like journaling, because they're frightened somebody finds it and that happens again. So when we invite, journaling and reflection and things like that, where people can actually express what they feel into these, like memoirs or whatever, then this is also often a remembering. It's like, we are remembering to remember. That is, it comes from, I can't remember, I can't remember which goddess it is, where a fellow was chopped up, or something, his willy was chopped off or something. This is probably going off to a tangent. I don't even know where it's going, but it was called remembering anyway, to put the thing back in the place. Leslie might know. Is it Hathor or something? I don't know. It's one of them. And so, Leslie.
It's Isis.
Isis, that's the one.
Isis and Osiris, yeah.
That's it. To remember. That's it, yeah. So, so to remember, it's like the La Loba and the wolf woman, singing back the bones, singing back the bones. This is what we're doing. This is what we're creating spaces for, is for people to remember who they used to be. So people, many of us, and us, what I've found happens is, as I have remembered something, it's kind of like pushing on a door that's then opened another door, and then it's opened another door, and then another door. So you kind of start to go into all these corridors of yourself, really, of like remembering, really. So we begin to, in our spaces that we're holding, we kind of breathing people back into life, and that's why it's so important that we use our own stories, you know, because we have breathed ourselves back to life because we're here. This is what we're doing. So that story, your journey back to self, back home, is part of the story to share with others, because that's what's they're gonna remember as well through your story. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm going to take you through a bit of a guided reflection, really. So just having your journal ready. And again, you know, the thing is also, in fact, probably going to speak to Caroline maybe, and Vicky maybe as well, who's been doing the work for a while, and Leslie, actually, you've probably been doing work for quite a while as well, is that also, in a way, your tribe are going to reflect how you're changing. Because you'll find that people really should be dropping away, you know. And sometimes we go into an absolute flat panic. Oh my God, they're not coming anymore, or this person's not coming to my yoga anymore, and they've left, and that. But that is kind of like, that's a good thing. That it actually is what we want to happen, because again, like anything, is as something leaves, it creates space for something new to come in. And so it's actually called bridging, is this. So as you evolve and change, what happens is you begin to bridge, and you sit on a bridge for a bit sometimes while your new people come in. So you'll get this deselection, it's called, where people go, oh, her energy don't resonate with me anymore. You know, where I've been there for years, and you know, I did it when I I've been teaching yoga for years, and I had really busy classes. I went down to Glastonbury and came back in full goddess worship. And I started setting up altars in my yoga class, and my students were going, what the fuck's she doing? She's gone weird. And I lost like a really big part of my business through doing that. So in a way, in some ways, and I've been reflecting on this actually just recently, because I've created obviously my own training now in my vibe that I wanted to be in then, but I probably stayed a bit safe because I was scared of losing people, because that happened. I probably reverted back to being normal again and teaching normal how they wanted me to teach. But really, again, that was another aspect where I wasn't honouring who I was becoming, because I wanted to stay safe and I didn't want to be rejected by my tribe. So yes, that was an interesting time of life. But now I see it really different, because I see, like, yeah, people will fall away, they're meant to, because there'll be new people to come in, you know, and that is the nature of life. If you're changing and evolving, people are not going to resonate with you forever, are they? They're not meant to. So we kind of let go of that a little bit, because then that allows us to let go of the control of it, really, as well. So what I'd like you to do is, and you can take this away with you as well if you want to, but you can just have a minute to just feel into this. So, like, again, who is it that we want to work with now? This comes always with a bit of a health and safety warning, as does deciding on a life we want to live. Because what tends to happen is we go, oh, I want to do this, and I want to leave my job, and I'm going to do this work, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to live here, and I'm going to live there. And then you get an eviction notice, you get sacked at work or laid off, and then all of a sudden you go into, oh my God, well, what's going on? What's going on? And everyone, and honestly, I've seen this so many times, and everyone's going, shit, or the relationship ends, and everyone's going, shit, 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 what's happening? What's happening? But actually, what's happening is the universe said yes to you. and went, right, let's get rid of that job then, and that partner, and that house, and that whatever. And then you're on a bridge for a bit. And I always say it's like dropping a hand grenade, and then you've got to wait for it all to settle again before everything sort of starts to resettle itself in new energy. So yeah, so like I say, if you've already got a big thriving business, if you don't want any change, don't do the exercise. Detours and retours, universes, redirection. Yeah, absolutely. Because, and I've probably said it before, we can be in a comfortable hell rather than an uncomfortable heaven. You know, it's the nature of the human muggle self. So if we were to just feel into a little bit into who it is that you want to sit in circle with. Okay, so who is the woman that is sitting in my circle? And also the other thing is, and this is a little bit more, this is a bit more heart actually. How does she feel before she finds me? So how is she feeling before she finds what it is that I offer? And how she feels might be something in line with how you felt before the first time you found, I don't know, you sat in a yoga class or you went to a sound bath or you found that person who helped you. So you're speaking to yourself, really, tracking back a few years. Does that make sense? So you're speaking to yourself, actually, is what you're doing. Which is so interesting because where I am at the moment is this nervous system regulation, which is exactly what I needed when I first came onto this path. It's exactly what I needed then. So what is she seeking? So whether it, again, this will come back to you, healing, belonging, softness and purpose. So again, just a few examples. So what is she looking for? What were you looking for when you went into those spaces? And then also, what does she desire to embody? And then also, what words, colours, textures, or symbols resonate with her energy? So what colours, words, textures, or symbols resonate with her energy? And again, you might want to sit with this a bit longer and go back to it later. Well, you'll keep going back to it as you evolve and change anyway. This will all help you with your marketing as well and your aesthetics. And then how do I want her to feel after sitting in my space? And then you might like to give her an energetic tribe name. So this might be some, at least in mine, so they probably will resonate with you, but I'll just give them as examples. The Awakening Woman, the Tender Healer, the Creatrix Rising, or the Wild Rememberer. So these are just some of mine, but you can give them give a name, like, you know, like give it some form, so she has like a name in language that she might recognize. Is this making sense to everybody? Yeah, good. So you might also have like a flower or a plant even that like you know, like that represents that avatar as well. So you might have a flower, a symbol that just reminds you of their essence, and then you might want to put that on your altar. So you might want to just make something that represents your, you know, your tribe avatar, and pop it on your altar just to remind you every day to connect with her through your heart and through your energy. And one thing I always think about in circle is you might just save a life. We talked about it last time. You know, these circles are really important. They're really important. And one thing I do know about people often that are looking for these spaces is they feel lost. They don't have anybody who they can actually be themselves with. They feel like I said, like a square peg in a round hole. They've probably been the black sheep of the family. They're probably the black sheep at work. They're quite often just don't feel accepted anywhere often. I bet we've all felt that, haven't we? Yeah, definitely. Because we are them. We are them. Just don't quite fit in anywhere. Didn't fit in at school, didn't fit in at home, was always the black sheep. Yeah. And then you find your tribe, and that's fucking gold, isn't it? Where we can be ourselves, we can be who we are, and we don't have to be anybody different to who we are. We can be as wacky as we want, and or not, or whatever. We can be that, and it's like it's gold when we do that, when we find that those people that resonate with who we are, and we can be ourselves. Okay, so we kind of got that narrowed down to a person, kind of. And so now we're going to translate that energy into visibility, which is what we all love about social media and bloody marketing. We all love it, don't we? Not. So something that I find, and I've just been going through a bit myself. I mean, a lot of stuff for myself is because I've been in freeze for a while, so I've not been doing it so much. But I do like writing emails. That is my I enjoy doing. I love to do an email. So what I do is my email that I do on my moon day. Now, historically in the past, I've done like random, no structure to any of it, just send out random, and it's worked. It has all worked, to be fair, but very divine feminine chaos. Just you'll know if you've been on my email list for a while. There's random stuff goes out all over the place. I've got a structure going on now where I actually create 3 months, well, 2 or 3 months emails in advance. So I'll look at the 3 months or 2 months ahead. I'm only going to send them out on mainly on a moon day, apart from if I'm selling something, and then I might add one on a Friday. But generally now on a moon day, I'll look at the calendar for the next 3 months or 2 months, usually 3 months in advance. I'll look at where all the moons are, what things I've got coming up, what's gonna, what's, and then I'll create an email, kind of, what's it called? An email flow for each month. So what does if I break it down into the 3 months, what does each month contain? Is there a theme within that month that I can translate into an email, into a lifestyle practice, into my circle, into my yoga classes, or whatever that is, and feed that through that month. And then again, each month might have a different flavour to it. So, well, it will have a different flavour to it. There might be a seasonal thing. It might be, I might just want to go specifically with the moon of that month, or like it might be a solstice, an equinox, or whatever. So again, I can look at what events I've got coming up. And so the information in your emails, or I like to call them actually love letters, newsletters, I like to call them love letters, is going to be something people can use in the day-to-day lives. It might be a mudra, it may be a yoga posture, it might be a recipe, it might be a ritual. So you're giving away some nice free stuff that's flavored for you as well. And actually what I do is I do it in a way that I want to receive it, if you know what I mean. So I get it and I go, oh, Moon Day Wisdom, brilliant. It'll remind me what I'm going to be doing this week. So it's kind of like for me as well. So I'm doing it for myself as well. And so I create stuff that I like, and then I post it out to everybody. Now, what happens with that email is it goes out on a Monday. And then what I do is I then pull off parts of that email to make up my social media posts, and that cuts down my work like so much, because then I just copy paste and I put it across into social media. So that's how I do my marketing. That's how I do it. I haven't got anybody else doing it. I do it myself at the moment. However, I may end up getting somebody as well in to help me. But I quite like doing that because it's creative part of it. So I wouldn't want to put that into the hands of someone else completely, because I do quite enjoy doing it. So people love to know about you, though. This is the part I don't do, and I need to do more of. So I did one post about my hair the other day, and I think I got 1,500 views on Instagram. About 3 on my training. But people do love to know about you. So, again, we can put ourselves out there. The other thing that I'm going to go into a bit more when I get back off holiday is actually YouTube, because I've not done a lot on YouTube really. I've got some stuff on there that I did in during lockdown and stuff, but I'm going to create more things on YouTube myself. So YouTube's another nice platform to work on. I find it a bit less intimidating than some others. So when we are, again, selling has a bit of a bad rap, I think, about selling. And I think this needs kind of changing a little bit, because actually, if you were to come back to how do I want her to feel after sitting in my space, that's what you're selling, if you see what I mean. So we are inviting people into our space. I've had a big battle with this around selling stuff. I don't want to push it on people. I don't want to be pushy and stuff, and I don't, and I try not to do that. But I also know the benefit of coming into the work that I do as well. And again, that has a price tag with it, because I have rent to pay, I've got bills to pay, I've got a car to run, I've got, food to put on the table. So, again, I think there has been historically a bit of a thing around, if you do spiritual work, we shouldn't get paid for it, sort of thing. And it kind of don't work that way. We've still got bills to pay, and everybody's bills are going up and up and up. So, energy is expanding. And so, again, we need to be charging as well, because we've got to cover our bills. Like, just on a practical level, it's not that we're being dicks about it. We need to, because we're putting our prices up or whatever, we need to cover our rent or, whatever it is that we're covering. So, we want to be looking at also, what if we're going out to run classes and whatever it is that we're doing, like, how much money do we want to call in for that? How much money do we want to live a nice easeful life where we're not worrying about money all the time? Because really, this sort of work historically is a bit of a worry where money is concerned, because it's not often really, really well paid. So we want to be looking at, again, how many people. It comes always back to that, numeric equation. Same with the cacao, same with the shares, it all gets bundled down into these. How many people do I need? What do I need to charge for that? How many hours is this going to take? Because it isn't only the 2 or 3 hours in circle. It's the hours before the prep, and it's the hours recovering after it. Again, we've got them self-care sandwiches. So, a circle's going to be 3 days work, it's not going to be 5 minutes. It's 3 days work really to pull together a circle energetically, to again make sure your energy is looked after for it as well. So, and actually, Leslie, I was speaking to Sarah Proctor the other day, putting those readings together. I mean, that's a lot of work goes into them. So, again, they want to be charged up for. You know, it's a lot of time and effort that goes into those things. So without been pushy with it, because I've done that as well. I've tried that, don't work. If we were to write to one person, maybe yourself, I'd like you just to write, and again, this is something I think that is much more nicer way to approach marketing is inviting. So invite people into your space, invite them in. What are the qualities that you bring to your circles, your classes, your whatever it is that you do? What is it that you would like to invite people to come into? So just write a little bit on that, just some soft invitations to people. I'll send you all of this on in a document as well, so you can come back to it when you need it. And there's a bit more to do in here as well. Oh, thank you, Mum. Maureen's doing a training on Catch-Up, so she's on the last one now. We've all gone into creative flow like that. So cool. Right, good. How are we doing? All getting a bit of an idea of what we're doing. So, if you, I'm going to send you all this anyway, but if you can start to think about your marketing as a flow, and again, this idea of oh, okay, do you need a wee break? Do you all need a wee break actually? How's everyone doing? Do you know you're okay? So if we can think about, so the social media and the email part of it is is kind of like it is like the structure of it as well, and it is a bit masculine. So if we can start to think about it a little bit more, because then that can create avoidance as a ritual. So when I sit down to do my emails, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it in ceremony. So I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to have cacao, and I'm going to sit with it. And what I'm finding with myself, the more that I'm slowing down, is that before I'm putting that email out, that social media post out, or whatever, I'm going to be saying to myself, what energy am I sending? Because again, we want to be looking at the energy that we're putting out. Now, I know that if I am in any sort of lack mindset, desperation mindset, then that is the energy that flies on the back of those posts. And honestly, people feel it, they do. I would say, which is very interesting, the most bookings that I get is when I'm on holiday. So I'm not even at work because I'm relaxed, my energy is relaxed and I'm in regulation. So a few ideas, and I'll just give you a few. There's absolutely loads of things, but for social media, like I said, one of the most powerful stories you can tell is your story. Why you are here, what it is that you're doing, what it is you're creating, and why you're doing it. So your why and your story. You can share rituals, reflections, and journal prompts are really popular. So again, if we are guiding people towards living in rhythm, then, you know, we can drop a journal prompt is quite easy to do. I find the WhatsApp groups now actually I like them better than the Facebook groups myself. They feel a bit more closer to me. So quite like those WhatsApp groups. Again, everybody's going to be different. So behind the scenes, so this is often gets quite a bit of attention as well. So if you take photos and like you can do reels and all of that sort of stuff, if you are quite interested in building on Instagram, I highly recommend a course with a lady called Cacao, and I'm going to put a name in here. Amazing course that she runs. It's absolutely beautiful, and it shows you, it tells you how to do everything from start to finish. So if you want to build a good following on I think it's called Instagram Makeover by Cacao, and it's about, I think it's about 300 quid maybe the cost, but it's amazing, worth every penny. It's really, really good. She's worth following anyway. She does a lot of stuff on Instagram. Also, so quotes are very popular. Quotes, and you might use like stuff about cacao as well. So you might want to, give a bit of information about cacao and what it does, and also testimonials from your circle, people that have been in circle, people who have worked with you before. Just get them to write a few lines for you. And then also, again, it's got to come back to always you. What is your flow? I have that. Oh, yeah, you've got Cacao. Yeah, you've got everything. Yeah, I know, me too. We've got it all going on. We've just got to go out and do the bloody stuff now. So what rhythm feels sustainable to you? Because what I would say is you make your rules. Do not listen to anybody who tells you to post 10 times a day across every platform. You've got to do this. Break the fucking rules, because you do what is right for your flow, what is your rhythm and your flow. So absolutely break the rules. That's what I am definitely been taught, and it's got to come from heart and soul, and that don't fit in boxes and schedules. You might go for a walk and get some inspiration, post that. That will bring you in more connection with people than any scheduling that you'll ever do, any structure. It will. I've got a nice rhythm that goes on, so I'm consistent, because the one thing people love is consistency. So consistent, and then in between that, if I want to flow, I can. So consistent, I do Monday. Everybody gets an email every Monday. And then if I want to flow with something else in that time, I can, but I have got that consistency for when I don't want to. See what I mean? So that's the feminine and the masculine working really well in harmony together, creating consistency in my business, also giving me space to flow with that as well. I think it was Mari probably that taught me that. And I avoided it for a long, long time. Well, till now, in fact. I've literally just started doing it. So I love this idea to treat email as sacred communication, a modern altar of words. So beautiful. As these emails drop into people's inboxes, it's so nice. People feel your heart, they feel you, and you're in their environment. And when they go into doing, their ritual or whatever it is that you've shared with them, recipe or whatever, they're going to be thinking about you. And it's so nice that, I think, to know that you're part of people's lives and you're inspiring them. Yeah, so I think there's a bit more, but I'm going to leave that, I think, because I don't want to overwhelm, and it is 5 o'clock. There's something I wanted to share though, which I can't now find. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Storytelling. So when you tell a story, we are, and I don't know if I've shared this before in here, I don't think I did it in the yoga last week, but we are wired for stories. It's in our nature to, stories around the campfire, stories from, when we were little. Stories, what happens with story is, and if we can tell a story in whatever context that is in our social media, and, we can incorporate some story into it. Story, and I've done it it's actually included now in my yoga training, because what story helps us to embody. It gives us a meaning to things, and what it does also is it bypasses what's called the critical faculty barrier in the brain, which is the one that is all logical and has it all figured out and it's all head. So the more we can tell stories and have metaphors, and these things are how spiritual kind of transmission was passed through story. So storytelling is really, really beautiful way, and I think that's why, like, the shamanic journeying and all of those sort of things are so popular, because they allow us to get out of the thinky head and back into this bigger consciousness of our the realness, really the realness of who we are. So where the little mind will say, oh, you can't do that, can't do this, but through story we can often inspire and show people, it's like the story of the butterfly and the chrysalis, and that will talk more to your heart than me talking about trying to rescue people. And it has a transmission with it, if you see what I mean. It has a transmission with it. So what I want to close with, I'm going to close with a couple of things, but I just want to close with these words, which is quite powerful, really, is that you don't need to find your tribe. You only need to remember who you are, and your tribe will remember too. So, people will come because of who you are. And, my teachers used to say, people don't come for the yoga, they come for you. And that's what happens. That's what happens, because they love you and who you are. So be vulnerable, be all that you are. Don't try and have it all sorted out all the time, because, it's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. And, that's shown me so much this last few months, really, about how powerful vulnerability can actually be. So does that all make sense? I'm going to send you the PDF as well anyway, so you'll have that to work with, and you might need to, well, you will need to work with it every time you do it, but try and, if you can, I mean, there is some, I suppose it does work, some of the social media and advertising stuff, some of it does work, but I'm a little bit now, I'm a little bit more skeptical around it, and like a bit more like, well, it works better when it comes from here and it's true, rather than it being a fixed thing. And also, I just think if it's an invitation to break the rules, well, why not? So, what I'd like to finish with, and I've sent you this as well, is something that I've created for my own work, because I have historically given my work away a lot of the times. I have given it and put it into the hands of people. I have also leaned into other people for confidence because I didn't have my own, and that has ended up often badly, mostly badly. And so this is something that I've now got pinned up on my wall over there that I read every day. And I hope you can do the same, because it's so powerful when you come back to it every day. So it's called the Sovereign Creator Manifesto. I stand at a new beginning, grounded in all that I have lived, learned, and poured into my sacred work. I no longer give my power away. I honour the years of devotion, study, and service that have shaped the wisdom I now embody. This work is born through me, and I am its rightful guardian. I release the old patterns of shrinking, pleasing, and proving. I no longer need to hand over my creations to be validated. I no longer invite others to lead what was meant to move through me. I no longer equate generosity with self-abandonment. I'm not afraid to be seen in my fullness. I trust that my work is enough, my presence is enough, and my voice is enough. I allow myself to shine without guilt or apology. My boundaries are sacred gates, not walls. They protect what is precious and allow what is aligned. I collaborate only with those who honour mutual respect, clarity, and integrity. I call back my energy from all spaces, projects, and people where it has been scattered or misused. I seal my energy field with love, clarity, and strength. I'm a vessel of the divine feminine current, expressed through my unique body of work. What flows through me is sacred. What I create carries my signature. I walk forward in confidence, grace, and sovereignty, fully owning my path and fully claiming my voice and fully embodying my worth. And so it is. So I thank you all for your beautiful presence today. And tomorrow we are going to go into a reflection session. We're going to go into some journaling. We're going to go into a Kali dance and close our circle. So if you would like to have a full ceremonial dose of cacao, then tomorrow is the day to do it. Personally, I wouldn't go over 40 myself, but you can go, I think, up to 60. But I have never done that. I don't think. Well, I probably have done that before, actually, but not known it. So if you want to have that full dose, you can. And we're going to have a quiz. And we're going to do some journaling. And if you've got the medicine bundle, remit is in the group. If you want to bring a medicine bundle, you can just bring a bundle of flowers if you want to, or you can make a full medicine bag. So whatever feels resonant for you, as you reflect on your journey and as we come to close our space tomorrow. My God, I can't believe it. It's all done. So have a beautiful, restful evening, and I shall see you at 11 in the morning. Have a beautiful night, and I'll see you soon. Lots of love. See you soon. Bye.